Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shubhi. I talk about books, book recommendations, reading, and a little bit of lifestyle on this channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. And if you do not forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me. Setting is a little different today. I am not with my bookshelf, but I am in my living room. The sun is setting down, as you can see right there. So there was not much light, so I thought let's cozy up here and talk. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 10 books that you can give to a non-reader friend in your life that will maybe help them start their reading journey. Also, these books are spread across genres, so you can maybe pick one or two and give to somebody who's looking to start their journey in that particular genre. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get this video rolling. My very first recommendation is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now this book I recommend to literally anybody who comes to me for book recommendations. I feel like this is a sort of book that everybody is gonna like. I've never heard a bad review about this book. This is about the rise and fall of a 1970s rock and roll band, and more specifically Daisy Jones, who joins the band later on and takes the band to great heights. Also, this book is done in an interview sort of a format, so this is even more interesting and even more gripping. This particular one, the audiobook is so well done. It's amazing. I listened to it as an audiobook and truly it elevated the experience for me so much. Daisy Jones is definitely a very good option to start because it has a lot of drama. It is very fast paced. Something or the other is always happening in the book, so you're very eagerly waiting to know what's going to happen next. There is a lot of tension, there is a lot of jealousy, obsession, fights, personal relationships across the band. How being famous is not all that we think it is. It's a lot more than that. So yeah, that's my first pick. My second pick is Happy Place by Emily Henry. Again, any book by Emily Henry except for Great Big Beautiful Life, because that I feel is a little draggy of sorts. But yeah, any of the rom-coms that she's done, there are five if I'm not mistaken, and I've read four out of those five. Amazingly done, super easy writing, great setting. It's so whimsical, so magical. You will almost always like the main characters. But yeah, coming back to Happy Place, it's a second chance romance. We have our main characters whose names are Harriet and Vin, and they are exes. They used to go on a trip with their friends every single year, and now they've broken up, but their friends don't know that. And they are on this trip, and one of the friends is getting married. A lot is happening and they do not want to tell them that, oh look, we've broken up, and ruin their perfect day. So they are faking it on this vacation. The setting, oof, the setting is beautiful in this one. It literally feels that you are there with them. If you like rom-coms in general, I am sure you're gonna love this book. My third recommendation would be Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. Now, this you can give to somebody who's also starting out their fantasy journey, because this was the first fantasy book that I read and I had a great time. Firstly, this is a duology. There is the second book, which is called Crooked Kingdom, and it's so well sized in the terms that the story wraps up beautifully, considering it's just two books. I mean, of course you will be left with wanting more of these characters, but that has nothing to do with the plot of this book, because that is done beautifully. And by the end of the first book, you are going to be so attached to these crows. Oh my god, I still remember reading this book. I read it like 4 years ago and I still remember reading it. I still remember every single thing of this book. I really want to do a reread of it. But coming back to the plot of it, guys, my light fell. Things you have to do as a content creator. What was I saying? The plot of the book, we have these six misfits, just a bunch of random people, and they've come together to pull off a heist, a very crazy heist. And truly, I have never read a book with a heist that is so well done. Like, it could have very easily gotten very confusing, but it did not. And considering this is a fantasy book, it's very easy to get into. Fantasies are usually a little confusing at first, but that was not the case with this one. It's full of morally gray characters and choices that they make. Uh, but yeah, it's very entertaining. Also has the most beautiful found family that I've ever read in any book. The yearning is great. The slow burn, the tension, the yearning is supremely great in this book. Anybody you give this book is gonna thank you, okay? Also, if you're making it as a gift, give them the special edition that I have. It's gorgeous. On similar lines of fantasy, I also have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros to recommend. Different people have different opinions on the internet about the book, but I personally really enjoy this book. Again, it's perfect for somebody who's starting out their fantasy journey. It's not very complex, not very complicated, but it has all the elements that would make a really good fantasy. It has dragons, it has mythical creatures, a great love story, fighting, the stakes are super high, and this is an ongoing series. So if your friend likes the first book, they are hooked. Okay, we have, I believe there are going to be 5 books and only 3 of them are out yet. We don't know when the fourth one's coming out. That's a sad story for another day. But yeah, coming back to Fourth Wing, this we have our main character Violet. She's going to college and she was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, which are people that read and write history books, kind of literally, and live a quiet life. But her mom registers her in the dragon rider quadrant, so now she's going to be a dragon rider. But our main character, female main character, is very frail, she's fragile. So how is she going to ride a dragon, and why would a dragon bond with a rider as weak as her? That's where the story begins. We also have our male main character. I'm literally blushing as I think of him, but his name is Zayden, and just and yeah, things escalate on from there. So much happens, so much happens. It's a very easy fantasy to get into. Very it's also short. Do not go on the size of this book. It's not very long, and it's very easy. The writing is very easy, the world building is great and not at all complex that you can't understand it. It's also very entertaining. So yeah, I am sure your non-reader bestie is gonna love this one. Next book that I want to recommend is literally any Frida McFadden book, but अगर the Housemaid series सुन के परेशान हो गए हो, तो I have this Ward D by Frida McFadden. Amazing recommendation. I really enjoyed this book. This is very atmospheric. I have talked about this in one of my previous videos, so watch that one to know the plot. Very atmospheric, very dangerous sort of, and the tension is super high. It's also really short. You can finish it in like 2-3 sittings max. I finished it in one. That's how gripping it was. I was on the edge of my seat constantly throughout the book. Every single chapter is going to make you want to know what's coming next. Perfect for that weekend binge reading session. Another thriller recommendation I have is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I have not finished reading this book. I am somewhere in the middle of it, but I already know that I'm gonna have a great time with this one. I am 100 pages through and I'm enjoying it so much. I got this from the World Book Fair recently and I could not wait to pick this one up, so I picked it. Perks of being a mood reader. We have our main character Grady, who's an author who's trying to write a book, and in the opening scene of the book, uh, Grady's found out that he's become the New York's best-selling author, and he calls up his wife and he's asking her to come home so that they can celebrate. His wife is on the call with him, but something happens and his wife disappears. Now, 1 year has passed, and Grady's been in a bad shape. He's not been able to write another book, he's not able to sleep, eat, and he's got a drinking problem, and he doesn't know what happened to his wife. She also can't be pronounced because 7 years have to have passed before that can be done. So she's just gone. And one day, Grady's editor calls him up and she's like, you have to finish writing your second book, otherwise, we are going to be losing out on that publisher deal. And she gives him the address to this weird island place where only 25 people live. It's a very, again, atmospheric setting. And he goes on there. There is a cottage that was occupied by this dead author who was also a best-selling author, and Grady goes up there with his dog. Strange things are already happening, and I'm very eager to find out what is going to happen in this one. And yeah, I'm sure anybody who reads it is gonna enjoy it. On the literary fiction side, if your friend is a little bit mature and if they are nearing their 30s, good material by Dolly Alderton. Give them this, and I'm sure they're gonna have a great time with this book as well. Again, I have talked about this book in some of my previous video and I'll link it. But in short, this is about a 30 something comedian who is going through a breakup. His longtime girlfriend has left him, and He's trying to navigate life after the breakup. This teaches how breakups really are super different when you're in your 20s than when you're in your 30s, because all your friends have their own lives. Somebody's getting married, somebody's having kids, and nobody really has time for you. So you have to kind of navigate it on your own, and that's what our main character is doing. I'm forgetting his name. Andy. Yes, that's what Andy's trying to really do. And along the way he realizes so many things. He understands so many things about life, relationships in general. Also, my favorite part was the in the last couple of chapters we get the women's POV, his girlfriend's POV, and we realize that, okay, there's always two sides to a story, and that's how it was in this book also. I love Dolly Alderton's writing. It's so immersive, but at the same time it's also really easy to read, and this one teaches you a lot. My next recommendation is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Now, I do not have the physical copy of the book because I listened to it as an audiobook last year, I believe. The movie is also coming out in March, I think. It's starring Ryan Gosling, and do not watch the trailer of it because that will give a lot of it away. If you've read the book, you already know, but you haven't, read the book first and then go watch the movie, because the book is always better, guys. The book is literally always better. And also, if you can, please listen to the audiobook. It is so amazingly done. It has a lot of hearing elements to it, so the audiobook enhances your experience. It's a sci-fi, if I did not mention. As the book starts, our main character wakes up in space and he has no clue why he's here. Okay, so you sort of figure out what's going on along with the main character. He goes through things and he does things, and it's like you're there with him because you understand things as he understands things, if that makes sense. Andy Weir's writing style is so funny, it's so witty. The book is hilarious, but also really serious, and found family is great in this one. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I do not want to give away the main part of the book, but you have to read it for yourself, or rather listen to it before watching the movie. Okay, also on similar lines, I want to recommend another book, which is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Again, sci-fi, but very different from Project Hail Mary, because this one is sort of a thriller. Very interesting, very gripping. If you like sci-fi, you're gonna eat that book up. So it's sort of based on how every single choice that we make can lead to a separate path, and how the choices that we did not make are also the choices we made in some other alternate universe. It's about this multiverse of different choices that we could have taken at different points of time that would have us end up in a completely different world. Might have told too much about the story, but that's not a spoiler. The spoiler is intact. Yeah, so go read that one also. It's really great. I have read two books by Blake Crouch at this point. The second one is Recursion. Again, I recommend that one also. But read Dark Matter before Recursion, because Dark Matter is definitely a little bit more interesting. Last and final recommendation is The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I read this book last year and I had not heard of this book anywhere, and kind of went into it blind, thinking that I'm not gonna like it, but I was so surprised by the end of it. I ended up giving it 5 stars because that's how hooked I was to the story. It's kind of a love story, not really general fiction sort of, but there is a lot of romance involved in this book. We have our two main characters, Katerina and Heath, right? Yeah, Katerina Shaw and Heath Rocha. Now the two are training to be uh, ice skating dance champion. I forgot what the sport was called. Ice skating dance. I'm just gonna say it because I can't figure it out. But yeah, they're training to be world champions, and along the way there is a lot of drama, tension, obsession, jealousy, passion, fights. And I did not know that I would be so excited to read about a sport that I had no idea was even a part of Olympics. Writing is again very easy to read. It's also done in kind of an interview format. The chapters are really short. It's like 2 3 pages and the chapter is done. And each chapter kind of ends on this cliffhanger sort of a ending that will make you want to read more and more. And it's 400 pages, but you're not gonna feel it. This will just fly by. And yeah, guys, these were all the books that I wanted to recommend you guys. Wait, too heavy, too heavy, too heavy. Yeah, that, as I was saying, those were all the recommendations that I wanted to give you guys. Yeah, go ahead and recommend these to your non-reader friends and watch them turn into readers like this. Not kidding, okay? These are really, really interesting and gripping stories and very easy for a first-time reader or somebody who's starting out their reading journey. Also, like I said, these were spread across genres. So if you're interested in any particular genre and you want to dip your toes into it, pick one from the list and I'm sure you'll have a great time. And yeah, with that, I think we've come to the end of the video. If you liked it, let me know in the comments and recommend me some of the books that you think are great for non-readers or in general great books. Recommend me some books because always looking for recommendations. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.